But in theory, the calendar says at 4:30, which is in 10 minutes, we have a match of GMdmitryduvanov and yusuf1971 versus the GMersh and alexsuuuu. And we see alexsuuuu is playing right now. I just reloaded the calendar, and it looks like at 6:30, at 6 p.m., Streaking Crossroad and Helm's Night are going to be playing. So I guess they've scheduled in advance their match from the upcoming week. He's not playing currently with his partner from the tournament. He's playing with Mikey San, who is another streamer who streams Bughouse. Sorry, just catching up on email. Okay. So we'll see if this match happens in about 8 minutes here. Honestly, if the match doesn't happen fairly on time, I'm not gonna wait around too long for it to happen. So we might give him like 5 minutes to start it. And then if it doesn't happen, I'll probably end the stream there, because we have covered quite a bit. So our rook mates for Mikey San, which is unlikely to come. alexsuuuu has lost the queen and is still getting attacked. Red is queen at a8, followed by bishop takes. No longer an immediate threat, but still could just take this rook and then could drop a knight in. Oh, okay. Now a pawn. Pawn should mate. Maybe not mate, but a pawn is quite good. Pawn, rook takes, bishop takes, king up. Okay, well, I guess we can look a little at that mate. Okay. Pawn check. This rook is pinned, so rook takes is forced. Bishop takes. King up. Move the bishop back here, check. If the king goes down again, a second pawn will mate. Okay. We have another match. alexsuuuu and Mikey San. Mikey San is actually streaming. Let's check out his stream real quick. Was this put wrong in the... Oh, maybe Mikey San is just going to be covering the match. I'm not sure. Because Mikey San has just started like a prediction. Oh, okay. So he started a prediction. Will Alex and Josh advance? So I guess he's friends with both of them, and is playing with one of them right now. Hey, good gamer. Good gamer is good gamer too. Time is fairly close here. Mikey-san is trying to tempo the queen. alexsuuuu needs to make a move. And alexsuuuu has much less pieces to drop. Mikey-san is on the attack. Terra is probably drop. Oh, yeah, rook check looks pretty good. Can't take the queen though, because that's mate immediately. That's a nice move, I like it. So now I was able to take the queen with tempo, get the rook involved with tempo. If a rook were available, then rook at a8 would be a good move. But he didn't have a rook for now. alexsuuuu is up about 1 second here. Mikey-san needs a bit more material for the mate. This is an interesting move. He's trying to get the queen involved. I like the plan. The queen sack was reasonable. I think the queen sack would have won. The queen sack still wins. alexsuuuu might be able to win if he gets a knight. The tempo of this stuff. Well, I guess the queen could always come over here and take scary things. So maybe the knight doesn't mate. Because the queen takes f3. Oh, that's getting dangerous. He still has this available though. And there's not really any good knight checks. He's got to take, no, that's, now he's lost. This was not the way to do it though. So where can he drop things? This is an interesting move to make room for the knight. Oh wow, this king is running. The queen is misplaced. alexsuuuu for sure missed some better maiden attacks. Mikey-san still trying to attack. As soon as he runs out of checks, Mikey-san is going to be mated pretty quickly. And that's mate for Tariut. So the match should be starting here. And again, the match is GMdmitryduvanov, partnered with yusuf1971 versus thejersh and alexsuuuu. I could check to see if more of them are online now. Oh, and here we go. Here's we have the start of the match. alexsuuuu and the thejersh outrate their opponents by about 100 points. This could be quite competitive. We already see a queen trade. These guys are moving reasonably fast. I don't like the queen placement on e7, but at least this king is safe. The thejersh sacking a little bit. If he gets a few pawns, okay, so it's not even really a sack now because he can immediately win back the material, but he would rather get a few pawns to stick in there. Maybe stick a knight at f5, or he could just take the knight. Okay, he's going for the pawn attack, and he would like even more pawns still. Maybe castle. I would have preferred the pawn on the other side, but he is taking some material here. If rook takes, could knight check, or could drop a pawn here first, or could just take this knight. So this is all reasonable. Oh, whoa, that's a free rook. Or you could knight check. And after this, queen takes. There's a bunch of possibilities. And Alexsuuuu would like to get... Ooh, I don't like this continuation. I would get this fake queen out of here and try to trade it for the real queen. Okay. Bishop. Okay. And throw the bishop in here. Now the threat is new queen at e8 to exploit the pin. Okay, you can just take that. You can just take the knight. Yeah, and he's just cashing out, taking all the material. Ooh, that was not the way to go. Oh, that was not the way to go either. The king would have been safe up here. So Alexsuuuu takes first blood. Our score is now 1-0, favoring Alexsuuuu and the Jersh. So here you could leave the pin, or you could pin this. Pawn in. We're winning a piece. When he's ignoring all that, he wants to attack. I would just take it. Oh, that is not good. That's mate. Oh, that's not good either. Now you can play knight takes. New knight in though. So Alexsuuuu should have mate here fairly easily. King goes down somewhere. You could just take the knight. Alexsuuuu would like some diagonals though. So this double sit is not good for GMdmitryduvanov. So 2 pawns mates for Alexsuuuu. 1 pawn mates now. Pawn at f2. Knight in is mate. And our score is now 2-0. We're seeing some fast moves rolling out. Alexsuuuu still has, well, as of like move 3, he still had only used 1 second. So there was some pre-moves going on there. Okay, this trade is maybe happening. You would like me to, oh, okay. A new knight here would have been better than a pawn in. It would have worked these 2 things. But the pawn is still a reasonable idea. You can safely go over and try to clear off this material though. Pawn here is the threat. I'm gonna just rook over. King takes. That's a little bit dangerous. You could just grab the pawn, or you could play rook over, or bishop here. Now that he has a bishop in hand. Ooh, draw by repetition. That was not a great result for the alexsuuuu team, but okay. Our score is now 2.5 to 1/2. So there's some light squared weaknesses in GMdmitryduvanov's board. The Jersh wants to get this bishop developed at some point. Okay, he's trying to relieve this pin. That's reasonable. But at some point you want to move the d-pawn. And this is why. Because this is a great outpost for the knight right now. Might even sack for the pawn. Or could wait for another knight to put on h6 or a pawn on h6. So he'd probably like a bishop or pawns. Oh, he's sacking for the pawn. Okay. This is a threat if he gets a queen, which is never going to come. This is a threat. Take this with check first, though. Just grab the rook, grab the bishop. You're up material. Oh, that's even better. Much better move. Get to take things with tempo. Now knight plus pawn. Well, not knight. Knight plus pawn doesn't quite mate. Knight plus rook mates. But this square is covered. You could have knight check over rook in. Oh, that doesn't even mate either because that knight defends. Yeah, Yusuf is surprisingly safe here. On the other hand, alexsuuuu is on the attack. Doing a pretty good job of it. And their uptime, okay, now pawns are great. Either pawn at e2. Oh, I don't like that queen trade at all. That was a terrible queen trade. Instead of that, he should have waited for some material. Like pawn check, bishop check, and can win the queen. Or a few knights checks. There were a lot of ways to win that queen. My original idea was just put a pawn in, so when the queen's traded, you could promote. alexsuuuu is still on the attack, but could have had a free queen instead of a queen trade. The GMdmitryduvanov trying to trade material for his partner. This doesn't really do much. You just walk over and eat it. That was a wasted knight. The GMdmitryduvanov is losing material too. That's a free knight. Oh, bishop mates now though. Oh, maybe I was wrong. Maybe that was a good attack because of the bishop mate. Our score right now is 3.5 to 1/2. Giving up the knight. But he doesn't even want it. Another chance to take it. Now he took the knight. In these types of positions, I like to get this bishop here. Because the idea here is generally to pin the knight, throw a pawn in there, win some material, which is what he's doing. Why do you take with bishop rather than the pawn? That was very odd. I would take this pawn first. Yeah, I don't like the pawn check first. But maybe pawn at h6. alexsuuuu trying to feed his partner. Pawn is potentially fallen. Now bishop in. Very hard for Yusuf to defend this. If he gets the fourth knight, he could defend it with bishop takes. If king takes, which probably happens, new knight in. and you can grab this bishop. So you could play knight takes knight and take this. You could promote and take this. A lot of possibilities for the Jersh. Sit-in is not one I would suggest. He has such a good position that I would just keep moving here. Okay, now a pawn mates. You could also play knight takes knight. Knight takes knight probably leads the mate as well. They're up about 10 seconds. This guy's not really a GM, no. Oh, discover check. Okay, mate in 1 on this board. alexsuuuu does not have to move, and he probably shouldn't. This position is not that great. Why didn't he take this free rook though? That was weird. And they've resigned. So our score right now is 4.5 for one team and 1/2 for the other team, favoring the alexsuuuu team. Jersh is grabbing the center, developing all his pieces. I like that in general. I don't like the bishop trade, but I guess they like this exit. It seems like a free pawn, though it does trade the queens. Here I try to tempo the queen. That's another way to tempo the queen. I like it. The queen moves away. You have knight check. I like what alexsuuuu is doing. And I like what the Jersh is doing. Put in a lot of pressure on the queen. I like pawn at f6. The idea being if pawn takes, then you could win the queen with a knight check. I don't like taking the queen. I would have taken the rook, but this worked out for him. Take this for sure. Partner take the knight and the queen. You're up like 2 queens. Don't like this move. This is a good move for black. Attacks and defense. Oh, it's just taking the rook for mate. Now I understand that move. Yeah, I missed that. My score right now is 5.5 to 1/2. And it is first to 9. The win by 2 condition. So white is in a little bit of a pickle because if he moves his e-pawn, he introduces a pin. But he would like to get this bishop out. Like this is a possibility. You might just be waiting for pieces. But you always want to be moving rather than waiting for pieces if possible. This is a reasonable idea. Trading some knights. Oh, but the Jersh had a great place for that knight. Gonna pick up. I would take the rook rather than the queen every day of the week. He opted to take the queen. I don't like knight takes knight there. That helps white develop. I would have just developed himself. Yeah, that's a reasonable development move. Oh, wow. And if this knight moves away, rook takes pawn. Okay, that just wins a knight. The Jersh has a great position. Hey, ATV. Yeah, I always say to my partner to develop the king's bishop because it gives your king luft. Okay, luckily these rooks are united, so that's being protected. I guess the idea is to trade these. This is a hole. We could put something. Ideally like a bishop, but you could even put a knight there to tempo the queen. This not so great. It could just take it. If the Jersh gets a second knight, he could play knight here. And then like if these trade, then he could drop a knight here. There's some ways to tempo. Oh, I would definitely drop a knight here now. Knight check. Because then if the rook goes away, you have queen takes. Yeah, I don't like this move. That lets the rook get in. Now like pawn can be a thing. Knight check is still a thing. Eventually he's going to notice the knight check. Alexsuuuu has a lot more pieces to drop. Why not just take this? This is real close to over. A rook mates for the Jersh, and they are up time. Oh, he wants to play rook here. A clever move. If knight takes, he has rook here. Oh, should have waited though. Why don't people wait? I'll get it. Let's go over. Fine. Yeah, they're not using their time advantage as they should. Oh, yeah, knight check one there. Rook here wins. The Jersh got a mate. Yeah, the Jersh had a lot of mates there. Thank you for the follow from Moto Pony. Moto Pony, another player in this Bughouse World Championship. We've covered a few of his matches. So alexsuuuu picked up a free pawn. The Jersh get in a lot of development, tempo in the queen. We're going to go in on these light squares. Pawn is fantastic for him. Oh, I would have waited for the pawn there. Don't like this so much. The Jersh just sacked a knight for not very much. This is a decent sack if you have material in hand, but without material, you're just losing a piece. Knight here is reasonable to threaten the queen here. But yeah, when you're thinking about sacks like this, especially when you're uptime, just wait, see if you get the piece you want. And if you get the piece you want, then sack. Because then if you already have the pawn, it's not even really a sack. You're just like winning stuff. But the Jersh is now downtime and is not going to get a pawn. Knight here is the move. thread in, queen out, chess move. So Dmitry, in the meantime, yeah, I like this move. You can develop this king's bishop somewhere. You just take this a few times. Fine. But of course, you know, wait till your partner's not losing a queen for it. And honestly, do you even want to take this queen? Pawn's mate. Okay, he did want to take the queen. Fair enough. Knight takes pawn is good. I don't like this move. Okay, finally he's taking the pawn there. Oh, maybe it wasn't a good move. I thought this was a good move, but it turned out to be a bad move because of the fork. So, my bad on that one. alexsuuuu nagged a rook. Pawn at g2 is a threat. Yeah, he's safe now. He's safer. I mean, there's still some threats here. Like, you know, pawn at g6. Trade a bunch there. Using the bishop. Dmitry actually has no blockers, so queen at g1 would be interesting, given no blockers. Now rook at, yep. Bishop takes. He wants a pawn. Don't like this queen move. I guess that's fine because it's winning for his partner. So now rook in and trade those. Yeah, this isn't. Well, I guess it still mates. Can even move the bishop. Bishop check, queen in. Oh, no. Queen here was the move. The rook up. It's still mate though. The Jersh ran out of time. The Jersh was gonna mate it anyway. Our score's now 6.5 to 1.5. Favoring alexsuuuu and the Jersh. Yeah, young UK baller Anwar has come in my channel before with actually a few usernames, but this is not Anwar. I hope you were able to schedule your match, young UK baller. Because I know when you came in to the channel a few days ago, you guys had not scheduled your match yet. There's a big time disparity here. The Jersh is already up about 20 seconds on his partner's opponent. He's trying to defend c2. The idea is to take this, but he can always take back. It's probably a good idea for alexsuuuu to stall, because bishop at h3 would be pretty bad for his partner. Yeah, he's gonna clean up this mess. Maybe get the king back to h1 and then have his partner trade like a pawn or something. I don't think this was a great way to defend. I mean, I think his idea is just like king back, but that's going to allow knight takes pawn. Oh, I was taking with knight here. I put the queen. I would have taken that. Okay. I'm still up about 20 seconds. This move I like. Getting safer. And this might be a way. I like this bishop check now, for sure. Ooh, don't like that move. I would have liked the bishop check when he had no blockers. And right after that, he could have started moving again. On the other hand, alexsuuuu has a great position. A bishop would be quite good for him. Problem is, without the bishop, he could sneak up here. With the bishop, he can take this way. The bishop, very good. Maybe even worth the queen sack. Let's calculate. He go up. Not really, because there's just too many knights. Yeah, now a bishop is just maiden. Now he probably wishes he sacked for the bishop. Oh, offering the queen trade. This is a terrible, terrible move. He should have waited for the bishop. I mean, I guess he thinks he's going after the queen, but like checkmate is a lot more important. Maybe knight here, attack the bishop. Okay, he's attacking the queen instead. It's fine. He really needs to go after this bishop though. That's just a free pawn for nothing. Take the queen. Oh, he's taking the rook. Okay, I guess the idea is knight takes pawn if he takes. But he's not going to have mate here. Well, unless he gets a rook, is now good. Oh, that's interesting. I have discovered check. Her bishop here is even good. Oh, this was a huge mistake. Bishop here, followed by rook takes would be interesting. Grab the queen. And he ran out of time. Oh, you have to forfeit. That's unfortunate. Young UK bowler. Oh, you hear that? So our score right now is 7.5 to 1.5. And it is first to 9 with a win by 2 condition. Pin in the pawn. Like, okay, knight here. It's a very good move. And attack. Yeah, don't like that move at all. I really like a knight. Okay, free knight for Yusuf. Can take either way. Here, I would like to see bishop check, guard this square. Not sure what this accomplishes. It just seems like a free material. I would just take the rook. But another option is to keep check by dropping a knight here. I think just free rook. And he takes it. Now you could take the knight, or you could pawn check, the knight takes. A lot of options. Yeah, this is reasonable. If bishop takes, then a queen would be good. Can he wait for a queen? Nah, the time's probably too close. Should not wait for the queen. You could play bishop here to attack that square and also tempo, maybe trade these off. This is reasonable too. That's a free bishop. So Dmitry now is very safe and has won some material. Gotta watch out for this. I think it's more important to defend this. So you could put a bishop here. I don't like the knight here because that could be tempoed. That's okay. You could trade this. Maybe he wants 2 knights to try to pick up the queen. Not sure. Yeah, this is free. Queen in. Pawn here maybe. So this king's a little bit dangerous. Oh, that's a clever move. I like it. Knight check. This is going to lead to mate. A nice mate for Yusuf. I think rook here was a little better to defend the king. Like this move is fine, but wouldn't you rather have the rook defending this king? If he does everything with initiative, I guess it doesn't matter though. Pawn check. If king up, you can take this. Don't like that. I think his partner's getting mated now. Don't like that either. Yeah, this is very imprecise. Like the first few moves looked brilliant that he bishop here, that he was like forcing a mate in a clever way, and then he didn't play good continuation. Like this, the initial knight check and was doing everything with initiative, and then he let go of initiative. Our score right now is 8.5 to 1.5, favoring the thejersh and alexsuuuu. Yusuf needs to make a move. Not sure why they're not going here. Maybe they don't realize it's first to 9. Finally a move. But they're already down 20 seconds. I prefer this move instead, but it's reasonable. He's not like losing or anything. Got his king's bishop out. Oh, and I would keep the pin and push the pawn to try to win stuff there. So in this position before, knight takes pawn was interesting because if knight takes, new knight in and you win the queen. But maybe that's not worth the trouble. I would throw in a knight to tempo some of these, or maybe knight here. Some good knight squares. I'd just take that. Dmitry picking up some material. And the knight could jump to a more aggressive square. Although this hole needs to be plugged at some point. Probably with like a pawn or something like that. Pawn or bishop here. And there's a bishop. Knight here is possible. But again, you might want to plug this hole before you do anything too aggressive. It's getting a little bit dangerous. You could go here to try to trade off the queens. But I guess Dmitry is safe enough, so that probably doesn't benefit him. Alright, I would drop a bishop here or a pawn here on b7. So this is reasonable. Attacks and defends. Okay, he's getting safe first. Could drop a bishop on g2 to be extra safe. So a queen is not coming for the Jersh. Oh, knight. It's bad though. And knight may come. Be up. Oh, okay. Yeah, that covers the knight square. That's a good move. Rook could be problematic, but I don't think it's coming. Alexsuuuu would really like to have like 5 pawns here. Like check, check, check. No such luck. This knight is his friend, so he's not going to take it. As long as this knight's here, it's hard for Dmitry to attack him. Let's grab this pawn. He's getting more pieces on the board. That's reasonable too. Maybe he's worried about losing this pawn. Could push. Could put a bishop here. And he did push. Okay. Don't like this. That gives him a scary rook file. Now this knight check could work. Okay. Pawn check maybe. I guess it doesn't accomplish anything. This is going to be a flag battle. That's a free knight. Really? Yeah, he's just making random check-in moves. And Dmitry and Yusuf have won that game. Our score is now 8.5 to 2.5. Early queen trade. And he's protected. I guess he wants a knight for f5. Okay, he's just gonna develop. That's reasonable. Oh, free pawn. There's a little bit of a greedy move. Queen up, maybe. You might play queen in the back, in which case the Jersh would like a blocker that's not a queen. Oh, that's mate. And that is match point. Pretty sure. Final score 9.5 to 2.5. Oh, you're one of the players? Nako Valny. which of these were you guys? Were you Yusuf or Dmitry? Anyway, let me just put in the chat the final score. Oh, you're Dmitry. Okay. Yeah, they play a lot of Bughouse. They are friends with Mikey-san 206. So they play a lot with him on his channel too. Yeah, it's just about practice. I mean, you can be as good as them fairly quickly if you just play a lot. One of those 1200 blitz. Yeah, well, if you are really strong in chess, it helps you improve faster in Bughouse. But there are a lot of strong Bughouse players who are not very good at chess. You don't need to be good at chess to be good at Bughouse. I mean, it helps for sure. Anyway, I am gonna end my stream on that note, and we're gonna look for someone to raid. So it looks like Radon is streaming, and also Mikey-san is streaming. Probably makes more sense to raid Mikey-san, because he was just streaming this match and was friends with the winners. Let me see if he's continuing to stream. I think he's doing some reconnaissance on future people he's playing against. So we're going to raid Mikey-san. Thank you everyone for watching. I really appreciate it. Thanks to the players for giving us entertaining matches to watch. Sorry that we didn't get to cover the Radon match, but Radon streamed it on his channel, so you could always check out Radon for PC. I think I'll be checking his VOD to see how that match went. In about 45 minutes, there is a match of Chicken and Helm's Night. I'm not sure if I'll be here to cover that because I might try to get some dinner. If I can't get dinner, if I can't swing dinner that fast, then I might be here to cover the match. We'll see. Anyway, I hope everyone has a great night, and we will see you for coverage of future Bughouse World Championship matches. Bye, everyone.